Blast me to the mortal realms. It's time for the Mad Merlins review of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer, issue 71 by Hachette Partworks and Warhammer. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer video review, and today we're hitting the last 10 issues, and we're kicking things off with issue 71. So it's a paint issue. We have about two new factions, the Skaven and the Ossiarch Bonereapers, and we utilise our two new paints. So you've got Corellia Green Shade, which will help add some nice definition to our orcs, and Night Quest of Flesh, so a nice highlighter for a variety of different textures in our paint collection. So before we dive into the issue, don't forget to do all the usual. Like this video if you're enjoying the content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and also drop a comment down below, let me know how you're getting on with your Stormbringer collection. And don't forget to check all the links in the description, including my Patreon page, where you get exclusive videos, which will hopefully be starting to get back to very soon. So let's dive into issue 71 then. So paints we get then, Corellia Green Shade, a nice sort of bluey green. That's more on the green than the blue. Yeah, gives a nice bit of definition to our orc skin. And Night Quest of Flesh, a sort of a fleshy tone that we're using for a lot of things, including leather and wood as well. So yeah, it's a nice tone. I've actually got a pot of this myself and I've been using it. Yeah, all in all, some really good new colours to add. I believe this is our last paint issue as well, so... But that's not going to be the end of our paint guides. I have seen future issues, and there is some nice in-depth paint guides in one of the future issues that doesn't have much in it. So yeah, let's dive into issue 71. So we have all about the Ossiarch Bonereapers. We have Fury from the Deep, a battles page. We also have Skaven. We have additional touches for our paint guide, Caradron battle traits, and the Last Stand battle pack. So the Ossiarch Bonereapers. So who are they? After a wait that spans centuries, a Bonereaper army sets forth to claim their allotted tithe. So yeah, the Ossiarch Bonereapers are monstrous constructs of bone and loyal servants of Nagash, who created them as an entirely new form of unlife. They seek to expand their elite force by constructing more warriors from bones that they extort from the living and souls that they capture from their fallen enemies. So yeah, they are a pretty much full bone army, literal walking skeletons. Some of the bigger guys here have very Tyranid vibes. This guy gives me a Tyranid warrior with his 4 arms. Then you got the lesser foot soldiers as well, and you've even got some bone constructs, which is pretty cool. So yeah, the Ossiarchs that go to war, they have different types of ranks. So bone scryers, I think they're called. That I know, Mortarsi and bone shapers. So they travel, create new warriors to the foe as they strike down the old. So yeah, they help revive you guys. You have cavalry dudes, you have other types of sorcerers. And yeah, how the Ossiarch Bonereaper Society sort of lives out. So they gather tithes of bones from cities that they protect. They create their constructs, arm their constructs with grim weapons. We see Arkan the Black there, who was sort of the original ruler until Catacross came around. Moving on then, we have Fury of the Deep, so another battle of the Mortal Realms, seeing two forces of order go at each other over some not very nice things. So across the Mortal Realms, ancient grudges run deep and conflicts last for generations. However, new threats often arise. One such war broke out when the Idoneth Deepkin attacked the Fireslayer's magma hold of Riftmar. So yeah, the Thrall Master and the Flame Keeper, two brand new models at the time, came in a box where we see the Idoneth fighting off against the Fire Slayers. So as we know, Idoneth are soulless elves who seek to reclaim souls through other races, and this particular band decided to try and attack a Fire Slayer hold. And yeah, things didn't go too well. Ooh. Excuse me. So you got the Deaths from the Mists, Rising Waters, and Flood of Fire. So yeah, the box was very infantry heavy, though they did have the Eel Riders on the Idoneth side. But yeah, you didn't get much fancy stuff in the way of Fire Slayers. It's literally just all these Berserker dudes. Moving on then, time to look at one of my favourite factions, the Skaven. The Skaven are cunning and vicious rat creatures who live underground. They burrow up to the surface, to mount surprise attacks against anyone who stands in their way, hoping to expand their empire to one day cover all of the mortal realms. So yeah, as you may or may not know, they are of course the main big bad of the brand new edition of Age of Sigmar, and we had our reveal show just yesterday, which was Saturday the 10th, and boy have we got some awesome stuff coming. I am really pleased of how they've updated some of the classic models, and yeah, I may be whittling down my collection of armies and focusing more on my Skaven. So, integral part of the Skaven Society is the Council of 13, so this is a gathering of 12 Skaven leaders who are known as the Lords of Decay, with a symbolic 13th place for the Great Horned Rat himself. They coordinate the clans and make decisions that affect the advancement of the Skaven Empire. So Skaven Society is broken down into different clans. So we have Clan Scryer, who are mad engineers who build weapons and strange war devices. We have the Master Clan, who are the Grey Seers, prophets of the Horned Rat, and have a larger than most control over the Council of 13. We also have the Clans Verminous, so these are the military side of Skaven Society, so the Clan Rats, the Storm Vermin, and the Warlords who command them. We have Clans Pestilence, Zealot Monks, who have pledged themselves to Lords of Decay. We have the Clans Moulder. These guys are flesh crafters who create monstrous beasts and shock salt units, such as the Rat Ogres. And yeah, my favourite monstrous beast, the Hell Pit Abomination. And finally then we have the Clans Eshin. These are your death-dealing assassins. They work in the shadows, and yeah, they're not the nicest of rats, but they are often hired by many other clans to take out rivals. Moving on to our paint guide, so we've got additional touches. So we're going to be using our new paints. So first off, Night Questal Flesh, so we're using it to dry brush over wood and fur of our Sylvaneth and our Oryx there. Then we're using it to highlight the haft of the Gut Ripper's spears, as well as the bows on the Night Night Vigilors there. Also highlighting feathers and fur with traditional edge highlighting, and the same for any dark-skinned flesh areas. So going back to Dawnstone, one of our older paints, so we're highlighting the robes of our Grot's hair on certain models, the joints in the Stormcast armour, as well as any black straps, black horns, beaks and claws, as well as feathers there, and some cables and coals. Finally then, Wraithbone we're using to highlight bandaging and cord straps, as well as Yo shields, the chicken leg hung up on the pot, what called a shaman's pot rot there. Also using it to highlight any yellow areas, such as yellow feathers and beaks on our Gryph-hounds, yellow hair, the vomiting grot there, highlighting his vomit pile, highlighting the underside of the biter grubs, and even the mushrooms. So Balor Brown is used to highlight any of our brown leather areas, so whether it's on grots, oryx, or stormcast. Mephiston Red is used to re-highlight any jewels, Agrax Earthshade's Washed, and Wild Rider Red to highlight the edge of those. Cantor blue, non-oil and Teclis blues used on any of the little glass ball orbs on the Knight Arcanum there. Now picking out Orc and Grot faces, so this is fairly simple, painting the eyes and the mouths with Catachan flesh, layering up the eyes with Mephiston red, picking out the teeth with Wraithbone, and then washing the mouth with Skeleton Horde. Then a final dot of Wild Rider red and White Scar will finish off the eyes and teeth respectively. So additional details, we're picking out the Cauldron with Lead Belcher as it's been shaded down quite darkly. And we're using Slanesh Grey to pick out some of the mushrooms on Molog there. And there's a gallery of our finished models. And yeah, these guys are really starting to look completed now. So yeah, also refer back to previous guides. So we've got a guide, I believe, for painting eyes and stuff for our humans. So yeah. Our models are definitely looking really good now, and yeah, can't wait to get these guys finished. I am doing, of course, a different colour scheme for my own particular models. I am doing mine in the Iron Fanes and that beautiful red and silver. Moving on then, we got the Kharadron Overlord battle traits. So we got sticking to the code. So got articles, amendments, and footnotes. So special abilities activate depending on which ones you're going to need at the time. So you can choose either a ability to rally or +1 to wounds a certain target. You got so your amendments, you can make a run roll. You roll 2 dice to calculate a distance instead of the usual 1, or else you can re-roll 1s to hit with your guns. And for footnotes, so we got adding additional dice to add charge range, and also being able to fire a return at the foe who have shot at us. Finally then, our battle plan is Last Stand battle pack. So we're finishing off our last battle pack, not plaque. So yeah, got the usual rules. So it's a campaign, pick your army, battle traits, enhancements, battle plans, and the battlefield itself. So our first mission is fall back, 3 troops, and 3 heroes and 5 troops on each side. We have a small battle mat here leading into 2 larger battle mats, so 1, 2, and 4 on its own. So we are transporting ourselves back through a realm gate into another realm, but we have to fight through a destruction force first, and our deployment zone's here. So yeah, at the end of the battle round, any models standing on the realm gate line are slain, so that's not very nice. Yeah, all right, pretty cool, little fun battle. Got a place to write out our forces there, help build, and we use the space to record whether Order of Destruction were victorious on the field of battle, so score our victory points there. Ideal to do in pencil, so you can rub it out and try it and play the battle again. Next issues then, so we got a awesome new Stormcast hero, Bastian Karthalos. We learn about Archaon the Everchosen, and we have a new match in our final campaign. Issue 73 is an awesome issue, an issue I've actually ordered for myself, because I'm kind of tempted to start Ard Boys. Depends how I get on. They're going to be red again, the awesome red and yellow colour scheme. But yeah, I've actually ordered a set of these for myself because, yeah, these guys are awesome updates to classic models. And yeah, it's the newer ones, not the older ones as originally shown. So we get the 10 Ard Boys, we learn about the fires of civilization and more core tactics. So there we are, I'll bring everything in. So yeah, my final thoughts, a great issue. The paint guide is actually surprisingly helpful. We actually go straight into using our new paints, which we've had quite a few issues in the past where we haven't done so. But yeah, it's nice now that we are at the end of our collection. This is our last paint issue, so all paint guides going forth will be literally full paint guides or finishing off some of the older paint guides. So can't wait for those. all in all, I think it's a rather good issue. 5 out of 5, I think. Got some great lore in there on different factions, so the Skaven and the Bonereapers there. So yeah, all in all pretty good. And we're starting our final battle plan at last, so this is definitely the end soon for the collection. What we're going to do afterwards, I'm not too sure. Usually when they finish the collection, they do something special. I'm hoping perhaps we'll see something similar to what they did with Conquest, where they had, in the magazine, they did a lot of articles for a brand new chapter called the Silver Templars. And at the end of the collection, they gave us a chance to buy a paint set, which included 6 models and all the paints needed to paint up a squad and character of Silver Templars, as well as rules and a beautiful paint guide in a ringed binder. Would be nice if they did something similar, because they've not done a lot in the way of paint guides for the Iron Fanes. They've given us that one issue with the Vindictors, and it doesn't really cover all the materials Stormcast have. I mean, what colour are capes supposed to be, etc. Do generals have a different colour scheme on certain parts? Like, are their helmets gold instead of silver, help them stand out? Maybe a Iron Fanes paint guide book would be quite nice as an ending for this collection. But yeah, who knows? We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, thank you all, I think, very much for watching, and until next time, stay safe and happy hobbying. Goodbye.